Hello and welcome back. Today we are exploring how archaeologists uncover the past, how we dig, what we use, and how we make sense of the layers beneath our feet. Let's start. Excavation is the controlled uncovering of archaeological remains, layer by layer. It's not simply digging, it's a methodical process of investigation where every human action surviving in the soil is recorded. Excavation is a destructive process. Once a layer is removed, it cannot be put back. That's why our emphasis is on precise observation, meticulous documentation, and interpretation at every step. We use a range of tools, from the humble trowel to high-precision survey instruments. Trowels are used to clean and define surfaces. Brushes remove loose soil without damaging delicate finds. Sieves help recover small artifacts, seeds, or bones. For spatial recording, we rely on measuring tapes, levels, and total stations to ensure every find and feature is located precisely in 3D space. Before we even begin to excavate, we establish a grid across the site. The grid system allows us to record the precise position of every feature and find. By doing so, we can later map exactly where artifacts were discovered, an essential step in understanding how different areas of a site were used. For example, if we find clusters of domestic pottery or food remains concentrated in a particular area of a house, we might infer that space functioned as a kitchen or food preparation zone. The smaller the grid units, the more accurate our spatial recording will be. Grid size typically ranges from 1 to 4 meters, and the choice depends on several factors: the nature of the site, the research questions being asked, and the time and resources available. Once excavation begins, every layer of feature we remove is given a unique context number and mapped within this grid. This approach ensures that even as we dig down through time, we never lose sight of where things were found or how they relate to the broader organization of the site. An essential part of excavation is recording the height of every context and find in relation to fixed national benchmarks. In the UK, this is known as AOD, or Above Ordnance Datum. We take height readings using instruments like a total station. This allows us to record the precise elevation of layers, features, and individual finds within the trench. Why does this matter? Because knowing the absolute height of context allows us to compare features not only across a single site, but also between different sites, regionally or nationally. It also helps us reconstruct the site stratigraphy in vertical space, showing, for example, whether a wall foundation lies deeper than a floor or if a ditch cuts into earlier deposits. Height data is recorded routinely, usually at the top and bottom of each context, and at key points on features. Without this, we lose the ability to understand the vertical relationships that are so essential to archaeological interpretation. We excavate context by context. That means removing soil one layer or deposit at a time. We clean surfaces to reveal edges and relationships between features, like the cut of a ditch or the surface of a floor. Each layer is treated as a discrete unit of activity and is recorded fully before we move on to the next. But what exactly is a context? In archaeology, a context is a single episode of deposition, removal, or use. It can be the result of natural processes like flooding or of human activity such as building, dumping rubbish, digging a pit, or laying a floor. A context might be a wall, a surface, a layer of soil, a pit fill, anything that represents a distinct action or event in the history of the site. Once identified, each context is given a unique number and recorded separately, both in plan and in section. This allows us to reconstruct the site's formation sequence in detail. Some contexts are what we call negative contexts. They represent the removal of material rather than its deposition. These include cuts for pits, ditches or post holes, or even graves. We recognize them by their edges and by the fills they contain. It is crucial that we record even these negative contexts carefully. They often reflect intentional actions like the destruction of a wall, the clearing of debris, or the creation of a space for burial. These acts are just as archaeologically meaningful as construction or depositions layers, and can tell us a great deal about how people used and altered their environment. Different soils helps us to interpret what happened. We note color using a Munsell chart. You see that in the picture. We feel the texture. Sand, for example, is gritty, clay is smooth and sticky, and lime-rich soils are often fizz when tested with vinegar. Each tell us something about the environment or human activity. Recording by hand is still essential. We draw trench plans and vertical sections using string lines, scales and conventions like hatchings. These drawings document what we see before anything is removed. Each context is photographed from above and from the side before it's removed. We include a scale, a north arrow, and context number in the shot. Photos help preserve what's been excavated for future study. Photogrammetry also is used, and it involves taking many overlapping photos, which are then stitched together in 3D models. These allow us to explore and measure features digitally, even after they are gone. It's a really, really useful technique. It's a powerful tool for research and also for education. When we find an artifact, we bag it immediately and record its context number and location. Each object, and this is really essential, is drawn or described. Without the information, its archaeological value is lost. So it's really important that every single artifact and piece that is being found on site is contextualized within the site where it's been discovered, the layer in particular where it's been found, and the position. Excavation destroys the very thing we study. That's the main nature of archaeology. If we dig carelessly, we lose information forever. So the lesson to take from this session today is that precise ethical excavation preserves the past, even after it's been uncovered. Digging without providing and recording information from the dig loses forever precious information that we could have recovered from a site. This is everything for today. Let's see you the next time. Thank you. Bye.